Headlines most affecting Abbotsford this week. Abbey PD under investigation after a fatal car chase. Abbotsford Council green-lighting 3 synthetic turf fields. Complex care in Abbotsford will receive some new resources, and Abbotsford Rugby getting ready for the playoffs. All right, Abbotsford, let's get started. The IIO, the Independent Investigations Office, is looking into a fatal 2022 car chase that involved 3 Abbotsford police officers who located a stolen white Acura Integra in the parking lot of a strip mall off Hillside Avenue and Commercial Street. When police attempted to stop the vehicle, the driver fled, was pursued by officers. Then the Acura subsequently went off the road on McClure near Clearbrook and collided with a tree. The male driver was transported to local hospital. That's where he died. The other occupant, a female passenger, was called dead at the scene. Now, as previously released by the Mounties, the stolen Acura had been flagged for having connection to a human remains case in a burned vehicle in Summerland. So IIO is now checking in to see if charges against police are warranted due to their actions. This past Tuesday, Abbotsford Council giving the green light to an agreement of mandating and potentially replacing, due to age, 4 synthetic turf fields on school property. It's a 30-year agreement worth about $300,000. The schools are W.J. Mowat, who has 3 of these fields, and Abbotsford Secondary, which has 1. People in the province facing complex mental health, addiction, and housing challenges will be benefiting from better access and housing with a wraparound support. Some of these resources are going to be in Abbotsford, and the province, along with BC Housing and Fraser Health, will determine down the road where the housing units will actually be. Abbotsford Council honoring Michelle Sagert, who passed away at the very young age of 35. She left her mark in Abbotsford as a respected lawyer, an advocate, and a leader. She was a member of the Abbotsford Police Board, being appointed in June of 23. She followed in the footsteps of her mom, Barb Shepanowski, who herself was a police board member until 2021. Michelle grew up in Abbotsford, was a local UFE grad, then a trial lawyer who practiced personal injury and family law. She represented clients at all levels of court, including the Supreme Court of Canada and the Supreme Court of BC. And as a lawyer, Michelle was highly respected and known for her empathy and her unwavering commitment to her clients and causes. The National Indigenous Peoples Day event at the Fraser River Heritage Park is Friday, June the 21st. It's a family event with free food, crafts, live entertainment, drumming, sharing circle, as well as tents, vendors, and face painting. Now, and of course, Bannock. Dancers and drummers are needed, so there is a Facebook page where you can register. It is National Volunteer Week. Our own Cari Moore will be spotlighting a number of volunteers in the community, and those interviews are coming up in just a few minutes' time. Meanwhile, the BC Reptile Club is presenting the longest-running reptile expo in British Columbia. It's this weekend at the Abbey Exhibition Grounds. Now, note, you're asked not to bring your pets to this show. Please and thank you. Coming up, rugby playoff time. Sports is next, and that's after Cari's interviews on this Volunteer Week.
Thanks, Don. Yes, National Volunteer Week in Canada is an opportunity for all of us to celebrate our volunteers, to honor their efforts, and to reflect on what it means to give. Canada is a caring country. Canadians give generously of their time and resources to improve the lives of those around them. The Fraser Valley has a wonderfully diverse group of volunteers and organizations that work with volunteers, from the arts and culture to politics, from babies to seniors, board positions to working with animals. There is so many opportunities for people to give a hand and feel like they matter. Volunteer Week this year is April 14th to the 20th, with the theme being Every Moment Matters. We decided to have a chat with a few of the Fraser Valley's amazing volunteers and find out how what they are doing matters. I'd like to introduce to you today to Doug Aldrich. Doug, thank you so much for being here. I'm just really curious about you as a volunteer. For starters, would you like to tell us where you'd like to volunteer and what you've been doing?
I have been volunteering at the Cascade Hospice for 15 years, and I have volunteered with Chilliwack Senior Resources for 9.
Wow, that's cool. What made you decide to volunteer to either one of those organizations?
Because I felt that there was a need, and from my past volunteering experiences, I firmly believe that everybody matters, and I think that it's important that we give back to the community.
What do you think is the most rewarding thing that you do when you volunteer?
I think what's rewarding is that you're helping somebody to have a better life, not changing their life, but the quality of their life will increase and be better if they have somebody that they can confide in, somebody that they know will be there for them on a regular basis.
Cool, amazing. Have you always volunteered, or is this something that you've done since you've retired?
I've always volunteered.
Something that your family was really passionate about, or were you just off on your own?
My mom and grandmother were diehard volunteers, and I had a sister that had polio, and we started to get to know volunteers in the community that were there to assist my sister, and it just perked my interest, and I've been volunteering for years.
Awesome, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me about either one of the organizations that you volunteer with?
I enjoy volunteering at Senior Resources for the simple reason is I work with an amazing bunch of volunteers and an amazing bunch of staff. They're approachable, and I've made a lot of friends for people that are, when I first met them, they were just members of the organization. Now they're friends, and we see each other on a social basis, and it's very rewarding to know that you've been there for them and they're there for me at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming in today, and thanks very much for having us here. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So now we're going to interview somebody that's very multifaceted, my friend, Fraser Copeland. Fraser, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me to come.
Yes. If you could maybe start with how many different places you actually volunteer at and what they are.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, right now, let's see. I'll name them off. Sir Optimus, the museum, Ruth and Naomi's, the Free Store. Where else? My political stuff. And I'm sure I've missed something or other.
That's quite a bit, though. How do you find the time?
I'm retired.
Yes. And how do you find the what to do? Like, how do you come up with, I want to go there and volunteer? How do you make that decision?
Well, I want to be involved with organizations that are good for the community, that have some worth to the people in the community. So I've been involved with volunteering since I've been a teenager.
Okay, yeah, so it's been for quite a while. When you were still working, did you volunteer as well, or did you have to put it on hold for a while?
No, when I was volunteering for a few years there, my daughter and I both volunteered together at the shared thrift store in Port Moody, which shared as the social service agency in the Tri-Cities.
Okay.
And my husband and I were both heavily involved with Senior A lacrosse.
Okay.
And I was the secretary and ran the game nights, and he was the equipment manager.
Wow. So what do you think is the most impactful thing that you do?
There's two of them. One is Ruth and Naomi's, being there to assist with the meals. And the other is the Sir Optimus with Heather's Hope Chest.
Okay.
And, oh God, it's hard to not say stuff about each one of them, but, you know, when you are at Heather's Hope Chest and you're having women go through the goods that we have there, the shopping, and they're in tears because of it. And it warms the cockles of my heart.
If there's anything you'd like to say to somebody that was wanting to volunteer, what would the advice be that you could give them?
Do something that you're passionate about. And just do your research. There's so many different places in Chilliwack and the surrounding area that need volunteers.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here today, and I'm glad you could make it in.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello and welcome again. We are here with Lenny Kennedy from Girl Guides of Canada. So Lenny, thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your passion and your volunteering and why you do what you do. So let's start off with what got you involved with the Girl Guides?
I first got involved. I tell everyone this story that I was excited to drop my daughter off for a week and go to an hour every week to go to the library and read the New People magazine, except for I never did make it there. After about a month, they encouraged me to be a volunteer as a parent helper and then eventually a leader.
And how many years has that been for?
I think 21, 22.
Amazing. What is one of the most rewarding things you get from being a Girl Guide volunteer?
I would say when working with the older youth, the ones who are grade 10 to 12, and they have sometimes some very adult things they're going through, and supporting them through those, navigating those steps can be very rewarding.
If somebody wanted to volunteer for Girl Guides, what would you say to them?
I would say, please come. Knock down our door. We're looking for volunteers. And I think the biggest misconception is that you need to have a child to be involved in Girl Guides, and you don't. Anyone that can pass a criminal record check and that has time and energy can volunteer with Girl Guides.
Amazing. Is there different positions that are available, or are they all just leaders?
Well, everyone who gets involved with Girl Guides is actually a member of the organization as well as a volunteer. And you could do admin, treasurer stuff. You could be a commissioner and lead the guiders in the district, or you could work directly with the youth in a unit.
Amazing. So there's not just working with kids. You could do other things as well.
That's right.
That's awesome. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell us about the Girl Guides before we wrap up?
Just that it's a wonderful organization, and I'm very proud to be involved with it. We've really set the bar high, I think, in how diverse and inclusive we are as an organization.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. We're here now with Lisa Bradshaw from the Animal Safe Haven. Lisa, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to ask you a few things about your passion, why you volunteer, that sort of thing. So what got you involved with the Animal Safe Haven?
I've been involved with volunteering pretty much my whole life, and almost always with animals. And when I moved to the Safe Haven, or when I moved back to Chilliwack, I'd been living in the States, and they have a lot of bylaws there. There's a lot that kind of helps to control the pet population, and Chilliwack's a little bit more wild, wild west. And I found the Chilliwack Animal Safe Haven, and they cover all aspects of taking care of cats, from the community cats that need to be taken care of, all the way up to the elderly ones that need a place to live. And I just loved that they've got a finger in everything. They're not just dealing with one small part of the problem.
Amazing. And do you have a wide group of people that volunteer there?
We do, wide in every aspect of the word. From age, we have some mothers that bring their toddlers with them, which we absolutely, anybody under the age of 17 can come along as long as they have an adult guardian with them. And by adult, that doesn't have to mean your mom or dad, just anybody over the age of 18. And we have up till, I don't want to give our oldest volunteers age, but we have volunteers all the way up. And we also have groups that come in from the community, so the Chilliwack Community Services groups come in. So we have people with disabilities and wheelchairs, all ages, you name it.
So you're very accessible.
Yes, absolutely accessible to everyone. And we also have all sorts of jobs. It's not just scooping litter boxes.
Okay.
People always think I just have to feed and care. No, there's easy as transport. If you have a vehicle, cats to and from the vet. We have boards that you can join. We have different committees you can join for fundraising and everything. You name it. If you have a skill, we need you and want you.
Amazing. Is there anything particular about the Safe Haven that makes it stand out in your heart?
For one thing, it is cats only. So it is the Chilliwack Animal Safe Haven, but it is cats only. And they are a safe haven. They are a true haven. We not only take forever fosters where we get those cats out into homes and pay for all of their medical care, we also have cats that live at the haven. They'll be there their whole lives and they are loved. The volunteers come in and spend extra time with people that just come in to visit that cat. And that's okay because it just gives them all this love. And we do have cats that are on hospice care and they just get all the love and treats until their last day. So it's just a beautiful facility. Unless you've been there and seen, the back is just rows and rows of beautiful indoor-outdoor cat kennels. And it is a huge facility and everyone there loves cats and it's just a beautiful place to be. It really is a heartwarming place to be. Every time I go there, I feel good.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you were able to come in.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks.
abbyTV Sports, the UFE men's basketball team adding another big piece to their 2024 recruiting class, signing 6'10" center Malcolm Tyler. You heard right, 6'10". The Langley product will join the Cascades this fall. Playing his high school basketball at Brookswood Secondary, Tyler was averaging a double-double in his senior year and bringing immediate depth to a strong core of the big boys at UFE. With the Pacific Junior Hockey League season now over, the Mission City Outlaws Spring ID Camp is coming up May 3rd to 5th. So if you think you got what it takes, email the team at info@missioncityoutlaws.com. Columbia Bible College Bearcats, the men's basketball ID camp coming up on Friday. So if you're in grade 11 or 12, or maybe a year or two outside of that, you are welcome to register and attend. Now, they're looking for those who want to compete at the college level while also, quote, growing in their character, leadership, and faith. More details are on the CBC Bearcats Instagram page. Division I quarterfinals for Abbotsford Rugby start on Saturday the 20th against Langley. Start time 12:45. That'll be at Abbotsford Exhibition Park. Coming up, Cari with the weather. abbyTV weekend weather. So, Cari, are we expecting typical April showers this weekend?
Thanks, Don. Abbotsford weather this weekend is, yes, going to be rainy. Temperatures are going to be kind of cool too, just getting barely up to 17 and down to around 7 or 8 in the evening. Next week, still pretty much the same. Going to be sunny some days, but back to rain on Wednesday. So, yeah, it's spring weather again in Abbotsford. Back to you, Don.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.